1969. Today is the 26th of October, 2025, year of our Lord. From 1950 to 1969, the world watched as two superpowers in the United States and the Soviet Union competed what we call now the space race. But before humans ever went to space, aviation had to pave the way. Planes, pilots, and engineers helped develop the technology that made space travel possible. Without advances in aviation, rockets, and high speed flight, we might not have reached the moon as soon as we did. The space race wasn't just science, it was also about national pride and power. Each side wanted to prove that they were the most advanced country in the world. So today, I'll talk about the aviation help make the space race possible through technology and testing people and places. Before rockets, scientists learned from airplanes. In the late 1940s and 50s, aviation was making big progress. Planes were flying faster, higher, and further than ever before. The Bell X-1, flown by Chuck Yeager, broke the sound barrier. The first time humans had flown faster than the sound. It's incredible. This was important because it taught engineers how air and heat behave in high speeds. Knowledge that was later used in rocket designs. Aviation technology also improved materials that could handle extreme heat and pressure, which became key spacecrafts. So every new airplane design helped bring humans one step closer to space. As space race began, test pilots started flying new experimental aircrafts, like the X-15. This plane could reach the edge of space, going over 50 miles high and flying several times faster than the sound. The X-15 helped scientists understand what it would look like to fly in very thin air, almost like space. It also helped design systems for controlling rockets and spacecraft. Many astronauts, including Neil Armstrong, were X-15 test pilots. So aviation didn't just create the technology for space flight, it also trained the people that will one day go there. The space race relied on important aviation rocket testing centers. In the U.S., Edward Air Force Base, California, was where test pilots flew fastest and highest aircrafts. In the Soviet Union, Baikonur Cosmodrome became the main place for rocket launches. These sites began as aviation research bases, but they quickly turned to space centers. Key milestones followed. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1, the first satellite in space. In 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human to orbit Earth. In 1969, the U.S. landed Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the moon. Incredible feat. Each of these moments built on years of aviation research and testing. Behind every rocket were pilots, engineers, scientists who started aviation. Chuck Yeager showed that humans could survive in high-speed flight. Neil Armstrong tested experimental planes before becoming the first man to the moon. Sergei Korolev in the Soviet Union designed the rockets that sent Sputnik, Gagarin into space. Important machines like Bell X-1 and X-15 and the V-2 rocket helped scientists learn about speed and altitude in design. Aviation also developed systems for navigation, communication, and control, which were all used later in spacecraft. Without these early planes tests, space travel would have taken much longer to achieve. By 1969, humans have reached the moon. But that was just the beginning. Everything learned from aviation about space, flight, and materials training is still used today. Modern space companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin continue to use ideas first developed in aviation research during the space race. Aviation didn't just start the space race, it transformed how we explored. Because of those early years, we now have safer planes, powerful rockets, and the dream of exploring Mars and beyond. So when we look at the history of space travel, we should always remember that it began in aviation, the science of flight right here on Earth. Thank you for your time.